Hey guys, welcome to the Fantasy in Frames Mailbag show, where we answer your fantasy football questions each and every week. I'm Bill, and joining me tonight, as always, is our head honcho, Jorge Edwards, and Dynasty 365 host, Stacy Perez. How are we doing, guys? Jorge, your Washington Commanders suiting up tonight. How are we feeling about your boys kicking off week 5 against the winless Bears?
I'm ready for a victory, and I think that's what we're gonna have tonight. We're gonna kick some ass, take some names, and Sam Howell and Brian Robinson are gonna ball out.
Okay, I've got Stacy rather has a question for us. I think with a player that's going to be playing tonight. Stace?
Yeah. So here's my question, and this is specifically for me. I need you guys. You guys are going to be the ones to make this decision for us because we can't decide. So my fantasy partner Jim and I have this dilemma. We've got it. We've got DJ Moore. We've got Kyron Williams. I'm not going to tell you which one I'm on the side for, but do we fire up DJ Moore tonight? Is that a good decision?
Jorge, go on. You go first.
Yeah. That's a great question. I feel like DJ Moore is the only consistent target Justin Fields has, despite Cole Kmet having his anomaly 3-touchdown game. That being the case, I think Washington. I don't think this is going to be a close game. I think Washington kind of rolls on Chicago. So therefore, Justin Fields will have no choice but to scramble and throw on the fly, and that's what he's good at. So I like DJ Moore, but it's hard to go against Kyron Williams. Is this a PPR, half PPR, non-PPR?
It's a full PPR.
Then maybe I take that back. I think I'd roll DJ Moore in this situation.
DJ Moore, okay. Bill?
Yeah, I'm with Jorge. DJ Moore. I don't love the Washington defense. I think the secondary is opportunistic. I think they'll take the ball away maybe a couple of times, but like Jorge said, he's the only real DJ Moore. This is the only real target Justin Fields has on a consistent basis. So yeah, he's the guy I'm rolling with in this situation. So who did you have, Stace? Who was your guy?
It was not DJ Moore. It was Kyron Williams. I've just never been I don't know. I just was afraid this was going to be kind of like last week was a fluke for him. And I hate Thursday night games. I just cringe. I just can't stand starting people on Thursday night games. I always feel like it's a bad idea. But all right, DJ Moore it is. Well, and too, I mean, they told Chase Claypool to go home and they put him in timeout. You're right, guys. I mean, I don't know who else he's throwing to. I did have Cole Kmet on my bench in the Fishbowl League this week, so that was great. It was 42 points on my bench.
Oh, that hurts. That must hurt.
All right, so Jim, if you're listening, you guys win. Go ahead and put DJ Moore in there. You have our blessing.
Going back to Chase Claypool quickly, is he droppable now? Can we drop Chase Claypool? Right, we can drop Chase Claypool.
Yeah.
Was he draftable?
Ooh.
You think
he certainly was when he got drafted.
Yeah, maybe like in the last
dynasty roster somewhere.
Ooh, poor Chase, poor Mapletron, man. That did not last.
Yeah, that went downhill fast, right? That went downhill very, very fast.
I've never seen that before. Mapletron? That's pretty good.
Heard Mapletron?
Yeah.
Oh, he was compared a lot to Calvin Johnson because of the measurables and the combine.
Mm-hmm.
And they sort of monikered him with the nickname Mapletron coming out in the draft.
Huh.
I can't believe you've never heard.
Nope. This is the first and probably last time I'll ever hear about it because that's his relevance, right?
I mean, he might become Mapletron in the CFL. He might well become Mapletron in his.
And they have maple syrup in Canada, so it makes a lot of sense. Yeah.
It makes sense, right? So we got a question from Nathan here. Sam Howell or CJ Stroud? Guys, who we taking this week and then who we taking for the rest of the season?
Sorry, Jorge. Yeah, sorry, Jorge. I love Hal. I really do. I like him, but not against my boy CJ Stroud. I think I've become a Texans fan. And it just happened overnight. I just woke up one day and I was like, I apparently am a Texans fan now. CJ Stroud is just phenomenal. I mean, the guy's got over 1,000 yards right now. He's got 1,212 yards. Has not thrown a pick yet. Okay, hasn't thrown a pick. Now, those of you that were listening to 365 last night, you heard this stat. So if you are listening, you don't get to spoil it for everybody else. Bill, give me there's 4, but give me 2 of the other quarterbacks through 4 games that don't have an interception yet.
What, this season or?
Yeah, right now.
I didn't know there was one.
Yeah, there are 4 or 5 actually. But 2 filled in for people, so I'm not counting them. So.
Andy Dalton.
Yeah, you're correct. Yeah, Andy Dalton. Andy Dalton's one.
Aiden O'Connell.
No.
That's what I said.
Yeah, you did.
I don't know.
Brock Purdy, Josh Dobbs, Gardner Minshew, Andy Dalton, and CJ Stroud.
Josh Dobbs has not thrown an interception.
Josh Dobbs has not thrown an interception.
How's that?
I don't know. I mean, Arizona, they're I don't even know what they are right now. But
efficient, I guess, is the best compliment we can give them. They're efficient.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, but Purdy's efficientness makes sense being in that offense with Kyle Shanahan. Josh Dobbs just makes no sense to me whatsoever.
Yeah, he's exceeding expectations.
Yeah,
I'm with you. I'm with you with CJ Stroud this week and for the rest of the season.
Yeah, and for the season for sure.
Yeah, I think that's a clean sweep on CJ Stroud. Another question in from Nathan. So Breece Hall or James Cook standard scoring. Now I'm going to let Jorge take this. I'm going to go last because there's some bias with my answer, which I'm sure you're all aware of.
Oh man. So let's see. James Cook has 14 targets for 115 yards. But that means nothing, right? Because we're talking about non-PPR or standard. Give me Breece Hall. Robert Saleh said yesterday the training wheels or the limitations are coming off Breece Hall. He's going to get a full workload. So I trust in Breece this week.
Yeah, I think I'm going to go Breece Hall too, because we're talking about standard. That's what does it for me, I think.
Well, you're both wrong. The answer is James Cook, obviously. And I genuinely believe that as well, not just as a Bills fan. I'll be starting James Cook over Breece Hall until, Robert Saleh can say what he wants about the training wheels being off and all the rest of it, but I'm going to need to see it for a game before I feel comfortable starting Breece Hall. I know that James Cook gets the bulk of the carries in the Bills' backfield. So, yeah, give me James Cook until I see it from Breece Hall, I think. I've got another running back question. I'm in a Buffalo Bills group. It's obviously very exciting at the moment with the Bills coming over this weekend. And one of the guys on the group asked, for the rest of the season, DeAndre Swift or Alvin Kamara? Where are we going, Stace? Who are you taking between the two?
Oh. I mean, I feel like right now, you have to go Swift until something happens, right? I mean, I feel like he's, historically, I'd probably go with Kamara, but, just because of Swift's injury history. But I don't love how they used Kamara last year. It's just kind of a real inconsistent. So I think right now, I mean, Swift is kind of the hot hand. So if I have to make this decision right now based on what we've seen this season, I think I'm going to go Swift.
Boss?
Yeah, so I'm looking at their yards per carry, and you see DeAndre Swift 4 yards per carry last week. Alvin Kamara, what is he at, like 4.6, something like that? Yeah, 4.6. So it's really dead. It's really even. The injury history with Swift makes me really paranoid. But he's running behind one of the best offensive lines in football. Right. So give me DeAndre Swift.
Yeah, I mean, I think we're all sort of on the same wavelength. I did ask the question: is it PPR or standard? Because PPR probably would have swayed me a little bit closer to Kamara, but it was standard, and I agree with you guys. And that was the information that I gave him. So I'm glad that we're all on board. I'm glad that you've signed off on my fantasy and frames advice that I gave Mr. Dalton Weir if he's listening.
Very nice. We got another question.
Ooh.
Oh, Gator. So Gator, asks Joe Burrow or Zach Wilson. This is not going to be on anyone's bingo card from week one. I don't think anyone was asking this question or expecting to ask this question, especially this early in the season. But let's go with Stacy.
Oh my God, Gator, this is gross. Oh, Gator, this is gross. Do you want this week or rest of the season, Gator? And honestly, I don't know that my decision, or I don't know that my answer is going to matter. I think you got to go Burrow. I think you have to trust him. I mean, he's Joe Burrow. I mean, there's just talent-wise, he's not even close. You know, Zach Wilson's not even close to him. So I think he gets it right. I think if we had a little bit more information about that injury, like, is he going to sit? And I don't think that he is. I mean, if he didn't sit last week, I don't think he's going to. So unless something, really awful happens, which knock on wood, I hope not, because Burrow is my highest exposure quarterback without a doubt. Yeah, it's not great. It's not great over here. No, it's not good times. Yeah, just with the upside of Burrow, I mean, that offense is way better than the Jets' offense is, than Zach Wilson is as a quarterback. I think you have to go Burrow, even with him with the gimpy calf.
I mean, at some point, surely Joe Burrow remembers his Joe Burrow, right? Like it has to happen sooner rather than later, right, boy?
Yeah, I agree. And Gator and I, we were talking about this on the waiver wire show. Zach Wilson has a good matchup against Denver this week. I think they're giving up the most points to quarterbacks on the season. So here's the thing. If Zach Wilson was like somebody who has consistently put up strong numbers, I'd be like, okay, he can take advantage of this situation and really exceed expectations. But given the fact that has not been the case, I don't think he's going to take advantage of this situation. I think he's just not going to fuck up completely. And so I think he's definitely going to have like a steady performance, like he's going to get you a good 16, maybe 17, like not turn the ball over, but not do too many things that's going to get you over the hump. Whereas Burrow, we know the ceiling that he has.
Right.
T. Higgins is not going to drop passes forever. Jamar Chase came out this week and was like, I'm always open, which is like exactly what you want to hear from a wide receiver. One, be cocky, be confident in their abilities. And you got to believe that Joe Burrow's pissed off that he's not playing well either. So, yeah, it's against Arizona, right? And, yeah, if Brock Purdy can look like a star against the Arizona Cardinals, then Joe Burrow should be able to light it up this week.
Yeah, go on, Stacey.
I would say Brock Purdy is a star. Come on. Interrupt you.
I agree.
He has a jawline. I'll give you that. He has a jawline. Is my counter to that. Yeah.
He looks like he could be a superstar. I just don't quite know if he plays like a superstar, if you like. But no, I agree with Jorge there. I think Zach Wilson's 16, 17 point ceiling. I'm going to take the risk with Joe Burrow's 9-10 point floor, knowing that there could be, that big 25, 26, 27, maybe even 30-point haul. It's coming. We're going to get it. And I believe it's sooner rather than later. And I don't want to miss out just for some 15, 16, 17 points from a Zach Wilson.
Yeah.
So.
What's going on, Faith?
Faith is in the chat. Can I ask you a follow-up question with the Cincinnati, since we're talking about them right now? What are we doing with T. Higgins? Are we benching him? I know he's got the rib injury. It seems very vague and cryptic about whether or not he's going to play this week. I mean, do we? I don't know. I honestly don't know what to do with him. I honestly wish that they would just decide. Is he going to miss a week? That would make my life so much easier, and I would know what to do with him. But I'm really struggling here. I mean, he's got the talent. He's a one on any other team, right? But it's been so hit or miss. I mean, that's their whole offense, but just especially with him though.
T. Higgins or Gabe Davis this week, guys?
Gabe
Davis.
I love to hear it.
And we're not just sucking up to you. Like, it's actually like legit.
Yeah.
Has to be, right? Has to be. It's like Stacey says, we're not sure if we're going to get T. Higgins at all this week, and the T. Higgins that we have got hasn't been what we're used to from T. Whereas as Gabe Davis has played really well, this Bills offense is ticking. So, I think it's going to have to be a clean sweep there as well. Gabe Davis over T. Higgins this week. Let's have a look.
I'll say this: like if T. Higgins doesn't go, I'm going to considerably move up Tyler Boyd just because the targets have been there. We just need the touchdowns to go his way, but yeah, it sucks. I hope I'm with you. I hope they make a decision soon. But if he does play and if he is active, I mean, who's your other wide receiver 2 or flex that you're putting in his place is, I guess, my question. Because you probably paid up for T. Higgins because you're hoping because of the history he's had with Joe Burrow. So let me counter your question. Nico Collins or T. Higgins? Is this a smash automatic Nico Collins?
Smash Nico.
Smash Nico.
Yeah. Speaking of smash questions, this is going to be a hard one because I have this one and it's super gross. PPR, Dalvin Cook or Cam Akers this week?
Smash, super hard, and super gross all in a sentence. Love it.
Can we smash both of them? Or I mean pass both of them? Can we
just fill in an empty roster spot for versus the 0.6 points one of them is going to get you.
I'm going to take Dalvin Cook. I think it just makes sense, right? Like what we spoke about earlier, Robert Salas said, Breece Hall, it's all wheels up. He's going to go and watch Dalvin Cook get all of the goal line carries, get himself in for a touchdown and pick up a 7-8 point. I'm going to say hauled because, the two players we're talking about, 7-8 points, and you are jumping for joy. Whereas Cam Akers, I'm going to need to see it. I'm going to need to see Cam Akers do something in Minnesota before I'm comfortable starting him. So I wouldn't want to start either of them, but I think I have a higher comfort level with starting Dalvin Cook here.
All right, Let's see. Go ahead, Stacy. You were going to say?
I was just going to say, yeah. I mean, I'm sighing as I say it because I don't really like either one of those. But I don't like that Minnesota run game at all. So I think I gotta be. Bill. I'm with you. You got to go with Cook.
All right. So now, are you trusting the overachieving Josh Dobbs or Sam Howell tonight versus Chicago?
Sam Howell. Sam Howell, and only because I don't know. He's feisty. I mean, Josh Dobbs is pretty feisty too, right? Yeah, I still think I'm going to go Sam Howell. I'm going to actually hang on. Bill, you do this real quick, and I'm going to pull up our weekly rankings and see who is higher right now.
Okay, so for me, I'm going Sam Howell. I believe he's top 10 in pass attempts, just outside the top 10 in pass completions so far this season. So he's throwing the ball. We know he's got weapons. He's got Terry McLaurin, Curtis Samuel. Dotson, I'm not going to pronounce his first name because you'll all laugh at me again.
No, do it. Come on, do it.
Jahan Dotson.
Yes.
I can't say his name.
I love it.
Anyway, he's got weapons. He throws the ball a ton. He's up against a pretty poor Chicago defense. Look, I've been impressed with Josh Dobbs. I can't believe he's not thrown an interception. But surely he's not going to go 5 weeks as a starter in the NFL and not throw an interception. So give me Sam Howell this week, I think.
Jorge, did you know that you have Josh Dobbs ranked ahead of Sam Howell for this week?
I currently, let's see, I'm going over to the website here. Ranking, I have Sam Howell at 11 and Dobbs at 18.
Hold on. We must be looking at the wrong thing because I'm looking at weekly rankings, week 5.
Are you sorting by?
I'm looking in your column.
Stacy's got him in alphabetical order.
No, that's probably what it is. I've got him in your column, and I see Howell with a 19 next to his name, and then I see Dobbs with a 17. Am I not looking?
So that 19 is the ECR rankings. If you click on the 10-5, then you'll get them sorted by my rankings, and then that's what will.
Oh.
Yeah. So ECR has them. Fantasy Pros ECR has Dobbs at 19. I have him at 18.
Okay. All right. Well, see, now I learned how to use our rankings.
Not just you, but everybody else who's watching,
Yeah.
who's going over to our website to look at the rankings. So there we go.
And
Which
now
you
all
can
the
find for
listeners
free.
know that Jorge is actually a Sam Howell believer.
Yes.
And is not downgrading his quarterback below the likes of Josh Dobbs. Getting to a player I mentioned earlier, Jahan Dotson, so you can all laugh at me again. He or Zay Flowers this week?
Oh, I'm a Dotson fan. Like that, he was my guy. All preseason. But if you got to pick between him and Zay Flowers, I think Zay Flowers, right? I mean, OBJ's out. Is Bateman out this week? Do we know? Is he even?
It doesn't matter if he's in or out.
That's right. You know why? Why, Bill? Why does Bateman not matter?
Because he sucks.
Yeah, there you go. Exactly. So I'm sure he's a very nice person. But we don't want to start him on our fantasy team right now. Yeah, I'm gonna go there with Flowers. I think if I have to choose in a P, it really either way. I mean, PPR standard, half full doesn't really matter. I think I'm still going to say Flowers.
Boss man, you going with your Washington commander?
Damn right. Like he finally got into the end zone last week. The targets have been there. It's just the production's not been there.
Mm-hmm.
And this is just going to be an ass kicking by Chicago. Oh boy, Freudian slip there. Did I?
Oh,
let me not put that into the universe. By Washington at home. And I think Dotson gets some looks here.
Yeah, I'm going to be the tiebreaker, and I agree with Jorge. I think that the Dotson breakout's coming. I'm a big Dotson fan. I got a lot of shares. I believe in the talent. And like you say, you got in the end zone last week. I think now we get a big fantasy points haul from the former Penn State wide receiver.
Oh, I hope he does. I mean, don't get me wrong, guys. I hope he breaks out tonight because I did have to start him pretty much everywhere. So I hope that I'm wrong.
Okay, we got another quarterback question, guys. Lots of quarterback questions this week. Superflex, start 2. Russell Wilson, Kirk Cousins, or Brock, not yet elite Purdy?
Ooh.
Stace?
Okay. Love you, Brock Purdy, but I'm not picking you. Not against that Dallas defense on Sunday night. I think that just seems set up to be a weird game. So no thanks, Brock. I'm going to go with Kirk because he's one of the top QBs in fantasy right now. And they're playing Kansas City. I feel like that's going to be a shootout. I don't think they have – I haven't seen it. I don't know if they have the lines out yet or not, but I would almost bet that that's going to be one of the highest scoring games. And then Russ has been really consistent all season, which is kind of surprising, even though the Broncos have looked terrible. I mean, you don't want to watch those games, right? Like you just look at the box score afterwards. You don't watch it because it's disgusting. But he's really, really consistent. Putting up I want to say like 20 or so points like a week. So Superflex start 2. I would go with Kirk and Russell.
Boss man?
Yeah, I'm right there with you. 52.5 is the Minnesota Kansas City game. So It's the highest projected total of the week.
That makes sense, right?
Yeah.
Do you know what? I think I'm going to go against you guys. I think I'm taking Brock Purdy over Russell Wilson.
Okay.
No Trayvon Diggs, obviously. I'm not sure Michael Parsons is reported to be a little bit banged up.
Yeah.
I think the Niners can put on a bit of a show and Purdy can pick up some good points on prime time. So I'm going to trust Purdy and obviously Kirk Cousins in there. So I'm benching Russell Wilson. Okay, we've got another question. We've got half PPR on the running backs. We've got Alexander Mattison, or we've got one of my favorite rookies, Jamar Gibbs. Boss man, Jamar Gibbs or Alexander Mattison, half PPR. Where are we going?
Man, this sucks. I'm leaning Madison. Cam Akers came over. All of a sudden, you saw a little bit of fire under Madison's. You know what? His yards per carry have gone up. He was pretty productive last week. Jahmyr Gibbs, what has he done? Like I understand he's he's super efficient. His yards after contact per attempt per time per infinity, yada, yada, yada. Give me all the advanced metrics, and he's looking good. That has not translated fantasy-wise in terms of what you were expecting him to have given the hype. Like in a full PPR, sure, he's going to get you little bit more upside, but in a half PPR, nah, I'll roll with Madison this weekend, which should be a high scoring affair in Kansas City or in Minnesota, rather.
I think this was part of the worry. I think I mentioned it on Dynasty 365 just before the season started. Is that we all love Jamar Gibbs coming out and he got the draft capital, but we've already seen Dan Campbell not utilize the better running back in DeAndre Swift to give the ball to Jamal Williams a load. And it seems like history is repeating itself with Jamar Gibbs and David Montgomery, which is, worrying for Jamar Gibbs fans, anyone that took him early in your rookie drafts, as you would have had to acquire him. And I think I'm with you, Roy. I'm gonna Stacey slowly rising her hand. Yeah, I'm with you, Stacey. I got a lot of Gibbs shares too, but unfortunately, I've got a little bit more confidence in Alexander Mattison to pick me up some more points. If it's full PPR, maybe it's a little bit different. But I'm rolling with Mattison there as well. Stacey, where are you going? Gibbs, Mattison quickly.
Yeah, I think so too. Definitely doing that. It's just they haven't really used Gibbs the way that we all anticipated, like we just talked about. And Montgomery is the hot hand there. I think he's going to get the majority of the work. He absolutely destroyed my Packers, and so Madison, Madison is the number one guy on that offense right now. Gibbs, unfortunately, is not on his. So
for sure, Jorge, this next question is your guy, so I'm going to let you read the question out, seeing as it's you're driving that bandwagon at the moment.
Oh man, so this is really good. If this is both are rookies, both are producing, Cooper Kupp could be coming back this week, or he has now the opportunity to be activated. Whether he comes back or not, I don't know. I know he was at practice today. This is definitely a tough one, but I'm going to roll with Puka just because I think his role is sustainable. Even with Kupp coming back, Ichan, you still have to deal with Raheem Mostert. You don't know what's going to happen when Jeff Wilson gets back. There's still some more hurdles to go over here. Now, Ichan is working his way into being the starting running back, but I'm still going to roll with Puka.
Stace?
Yeah, Puka for me, there's so many other mouths to feed on the Dolphins right now. And I think as far as like the where Achane falls in that, in the, it's obviously it's Hill, Waddle, everybody else after that. I think Puka's got more opportunity there, and we don't really know what kind of Cooper Kupp we're getting back, right?
Yeah, agreed. I think that's one of those that it kind of depends on the makeup of your team, right? If you're quite set at running back and you need an extra wide receiver, or you need a starting wide receiver, or vice versa, that's the kind of trade that can work for both parties. I don't feel like there's any real losers there. We already went through this. Zay Flowers or Jahan Dotson. We didn't all. Me and Jorge liked Jahan Dotson, and Stacey, the traitor, went for Zay Flowers.
I like both of them, honestly. I think you're going to be fine with either one that you take this week, really.
All right. I'll take this one. So is Denzel Perryman, linebacker for the Houston Texans, a good start this week? We saw in Houston the decrease in snaps for Christian Harris and more of a every down role for Henry To'oTo'o. But Perriman's coming back. I think it's going to be Perriman and To'oTo'o. Perriman, before he left, was the green dot wearer, was the play caller on defense, was on the field 100% of snaps. If he's healthy and good to go, he's definitely a good start for you this week. Let's see what else we got here. Ooh, here's a good question here. Although, if this is your quarterback situation, for tonight, for this week, like, screw you. There are worse situations to be in. Yeah. Although, I don't know. Maybe it's lopsided, and I'm just thinking about it from what Justin Fields has not done this season compared to what he did last week. Anthony Richardson or Justin Fields? Stacey?
Yeah, Anthony. I'm pulling up some Anthony Richardson stats right here. I just want to take a look. But just, going off the top of my head right here, Anthony Richardson. And it's not that I don't love Justin Fields. I don't like what's going on in Chicago. Potentially their coach may get fired after this game if they lose. Right. I mean, that's kind of the rumor mill that's kind of circulating in Chicago. And I think Anthony Richardson right now is he's on fire and he looks phenomenal. So Bill, I'm gonna let you do that while I look up some numbers here on Mr. Richardson real quick.
Yeah, look, for me, it's easy, Anthony Richardson. I'm not a big Justin Fields guy. I wasn't coming out. I'm still not. Yeah, he had a big week last week, 40 points. He was playing. I mean, if Chicago aren't the worst defense in football, then Denver might be, right? So, yeah, I'm not sold on it. I feel like you're going to get them weeks from him because of that rushing ability. And the guy has got a huge arm. He can get the ball down the field and make them splash plays, but I don't trust his ability to consistently read defenses. Whereas I do trust Anthony Richardson's ability to get into the end zone once or twice a game. So yeah. give me Anthony Richardson, definitely for me. Jorge, are you with us?
Yeah, give me all Anthony Richardson, 100% there. Got a question here from Andrew, another IDP question. Is Marlon Humphreys worth a pickup coming off injury? If you play in a cornerback specific league, I think you can do better. If you play in a defensive back only league where you can play safeties or cornerbacks, he's not even worth starting or picking up. You'd rather just go for a safety in that situation. So that's my take there. Malcolm, Cody Barton or Perryman? Cody Barton or Perryman? I'm going to roll with Perryman going against Atlanta. Run heavy offense, more opportunities for your middle linebackers to rack up solo tackle points. Cody Barton, look, he'll get you close to double-digit tackles. But how much are they really going to rely on Roschon and or Khalil Herbert tonight? I think Justin Fields is going to be scrambling around, and I don't think Cody Barton's the greatest when it comes to chasing down mobile quarterbacks. So your tackle upside could be capped tonight. I'm sure, Barton will get his in some regard, but I think the higher upside's with Perryman.
Okay. I mean, look, guys, we've hit about half hour. There's no more questions coming through in the next 30 seconds. I think we'll cap it off. Stacey, you just had your hand up. What?
I just want to go back real quick. Anthony Richardson, 4 touchdowns so far rushing and 130 plus yards rushing. Come on. And he's missed one game. So
Anthony Richardson's a must start at this point, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
I mean, unless you've got Josh Allen or Lamar Jackson or someone like that, he's a must start if you've got a sort of middling or a rookie quarterback.
He's the second. He's the QB2 in points per game with 29.6, only behind Josh Allen. That's crazy.
Only behind Josh Allen.
Of course, only behind Josh Allen.
Of course.
Is Nate Landman a good start? Yeah, Nate and I talked about him on Shoot the Gap. Go over and watch that on YouTube or listen to the podcast, the Fantasy and Frames podcast, Shoot the Gap show. I like him. He came out with 10 tackles last week, 8 solo, 2 assists. Obviously, you want the solo tackles because the higher tackle point totals implied there. Going against Houston, I don't think he's going to get you. It really depends if this is going to be a Dameon Pierce game. I don't know if this is going to be a Dameon Pierce game per se. I think this is going to be more of a pass-heavy offensive showing from the Texans. So I think he's a good pickup. I don't know if I'm necessarily starting him this week, but given bye weeks, given injuries, that we're entering now the bye week season, if you can pick up every down linebacker with good tackle upside, you find a spot on your roster and you put him on your bench. But as far as a start this week, I'm not sold. Let's see here. Who gets a bump, if any, if the Indy cornerbacks after Flowers is done? Kenny Moore got the interception last week. Kenny Moore has been more of a tackle machine at cornerback in recent years, although last year he had a down year. I think Kenny Moore is still playing in the slot, so give me Kenny Moore. Got a question here also. Zach Wilson or Sam Howell this week? I'm not even going to dignify this with a response. you know where I stand here, Malcolm, and if you don't, you should. Stacey, who do you got?
Howell for sure, and then right after that, guys, I have a real fun stat for you.
Go for it.
All right. So I was looking up Anthony Richardson's rushing yards. So I was looking at all the quarterbacks thus far. Number 4 quarterback in yards rushing right now. We've already talked about him tonight.
It's not Josh Dobbs, is it?
Josh Dobbs, baby,
Oh
with
my-
1 touchdown and 138 yards rushing. Get out of town, Josh Dobbs. My
Gonna
goodness.
single-handedly cost the Arizona Cardinals Caleb
Yeah.
Williams, isn't he?
MVP year, Josh Dobbs.
Nice.
There will be a Josh crowned MVP. It won't be Dobbs, though, I'll tell you that.
All right.
Okay, guys, I think a good spot to wrap it up there. Finishing with the Josh Allen MVP talk. I'm happy with that.
Yes.
Quick question, Andrew. J.C. Jackson worth a look after the trade? Look, yeah, he's going back to New England. But again, if you're not playing in a cornerback-specific league, J.C. Jackson was one of the preeminent cornerbacks in the league. He might get shied away from by opposing quarterbacks passing the ball. So, again, if you're playing in a league where it's defensive back, general, I'm telling you, find the safeties, roll with the safeties who are going to get you, more of a tackle floor, play closer to the line of scrimmage. J.C. Jackson, or if you're going to get a cornerback, pick the cornerback opposite J.C. Jackson, who's probably going to get targeted more, and then you'll have more opportunities for pass deflections and interceptions in that regard. But I would not look into J.C. Jackson if I didn't have to. Question from Malcolm. Luke or Kincaid for tight end? Luke Musgrave. Sorry. Okay, that took me a minute.
He's pitting our tight ends against each other, Bill.
There's your answer. There's your answer.
I think you might be right. Yeah, I think I'd probably end up going with Kincaid. He hasn't got one yet, right, Bill?
He's not got a tutty yet. He's coming.
Yeah.
He's coming. He's on the field a lot. He's trusted on third downs already as a rookie. So it's coming for Dalton Kincaid. And Musgrave, he took a shot last week, right? He came out of the game. So
I think I saw today he's out of concussion protocol. So that's good for us.
Yeah, but still Kincaid for me, even if Musgrave's good to go.
Yeah, especially with Watson back too. Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Okay, guys, I think we'll wrap it up there, right?
Yeah,
Sounds good.
Got to get ready for Thursday night football. Got to make sure our lineups are set.
Right,
That's
exactly.
right.
Well, hey, obviously going to tune in and watch his Washington Commanders hopefully beat down the Chicago Bears.
Indeed. Thanks, everybody, for dropping in the chat. We'll see you this time next week.